Have you ever been to a massive trade show? It's just a total sensory overload, right? You've got sounds and bright lights and sales pitches coming at you from every direction. But if you look closer, underneath all that chaos, it's actually a living, breathing laboratory for business. It's where all the marketing theories meet hard reality. So we walked those floors, and we've boiled it all down into a 5-part playbook. We're going to start with the art of attraction, then why clarity is king. After that, we'll talk about how to stand out, unpack the psychology behind a sale, and finally, how you can build all of this into a system you can actually use. All right, first up, the art of attraction. This is really the first and most brutal battle. I mean, in a room that is just packed with noise and visual clutter, how do you win the battle for eyeballs? How do you make somebody stop and look at you? We saw some companies that, well, they failed this test in spectacular fashion.
We saw two totally different ways to grab attention. On one side, you've got what you might call a marketing fault. Just a boring wall of text and logos that people's eyes just glaze right over. And on the other side, pure spectacle. A literal tornado in a washing machine or a hypnotizing spinning display of products. One is a homework assignment, the other is a show you can't help but watch.
And this quote right here, it just gets right to the heart of it. People walking that floor, they aren't there to read a dense report. They're looking for that wow moment. The booths that really drew a crowd, they didn't just sell something. They created this little pocket of wonder that was just impossible to walk past. The real heroes of attraction totally got this. They used giant Gundam statues to tap into our love of fantasy, spinning displays to make something as simple as keycaps mesmerizing, and these huge, vibrant LED screens that just pulled you in from across the hall. But look, getting their attention, that's only step one. Once you have their eyes, you have seconds to be crystal clear about what you do or you're gonna lose them.
So you did it. You caught their eye. Fantastic. But now the clock is ticking. You have to tell them what you're about, like instantly. Any little bit of confusion, any friction at all, and they're gone. And wow, did we see some painful examples of companies just completely fumbling right at this critical moment?
I mean, you can't make this stuff up. A company selling bracelets had a price on a messy, handwritten sign. Our observer said it was very sluggy and very scratchy. Just think about the message that sends. It just screams unprofessional, and it completely devalues the product before anyone even says a word.
And here's another classic momentum killer we saw happen. A salesperson is trying to give a simple price quote, but they're fumbling through this dense, multi-page document with tiny, tiny font. The customer's just standing there waiting. All the confidence in the transaction just evaporates, and any excitement to buy just drains away in that awkward silence. Talk about a night and day difference. On one side, you have a company trying to sell speakers that, for some reason, put a giant rock in front of their booth. Total confusion. And then you've got Philips with these clean, professional acrylic stands for every single item with the price right there. There's no guesswork. This isn't just about looking good. It's about removing every possible barrier and building trust with the buyer in a split second. Clarity is also about knowing your role and communicating it. For instance, one company established instant credibility by just saying, "We're an OEM for IBM." That one little phrase immediately clarified their expertise and their position. And, understanding your role is the first step to figuring out how you can be different from everybody else in that giant room. So you're in a hall where practically everyone is selling some version of the same product A. In that situation, the only way to win is to be different. It's really that simple. We saw so many companies that just blended into the background, and then we saw a few that had absolutely mastered the art of differentiation. Now, the big takeaway here is that being different doesn't mean you have to invent something completely new. Often, it's just about a small, clever twist. So instead of just a fan, it's an umbrella with a fan built in. Instead of another cheap plastic stand, it's a unique wooden one. A plain lunchbox becomes special when there's a doll inside. It's these small, thoughtful details that turn a generic product into something people actually remember. And seeing all these different approaches revealed this really fundamental truth about modern business. And it was playing out right there on the trade show floor. The brand is very, very often not the actual maker. This quote from a monitor manufacturer just pulls back the curtain on the whole thing. It shines a light on this hidden world of original equipment manufacturers, the OEMs, the companies that actually create the products that these huge brands like Xiaomi then go and sell. The brand is the story, it's the marketing, but the OEM is the factory. Okay, let's get into the invisible forces, the stuff that's really driving decisions. So much of what we saw working at the trade show had nothing to do with the product itself. It was about pure psychology. The smartest companies there weren't just selling features. They were basically hacking human nature. One of the most common and powerful techniques we saw was something called the anchoring effect. It's all about putting out a really high initial price, that's the anchor, to make every other price you see after that seem way more reasonable by comparison.
So get this, a company selling high-end gaming keyboards did this perfectly. They put a ridiculously expensive keyboard for 10 million rupiah right next to their main product, which was priced at 2.7 million. All of a sudden, for their target audience of serious gamers and streamers, that 2.7 million price tag, it didn't seem so outrageous anymore. It actually looked like a pretty good deal.
Another huge psychological tool we saw everywhere was social proof. The idea here is really simple. As humans, we are fundamentally wired to trust what other people already trust. It's a mental shortcut, and you better believe smart marketers use it all the time. This really shows that for a lot of buyers, the best sales pitch isn't a long list of features. Nope. It's a simple sign that says, best seller on Amazon. It's seeing a wall of logos from other brands you already know and trust. It's even just overhearing another customer walk up and ask, hey, what's your best seller? That outside approval is the ultimate sales pitch. So after seeing all of this, the good, the bad, the brilliant, the baffling, what's the real takeaway? Well, for our observer, the biggest aha moment wasn't about any single tactic. It was the inspiration to stop just noticing things and start building an actual system from all these observations. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? The value of an experience like this isn't just about collecting cool stories. It's about using those stories to build your own repeatable framework for success. You start with version 1, and yeah, maybe it's a little clunky, but you keep at it and you iterate, and version 2 is always going to be better. So what does that process actually look like? Well, it starts with just actively recording what you see working and not working out in the wild. Then you analyze those notes to find the patterns. From there, you build your own personal database, your own playbook. And the final, most important step is you just keep iterating, constantly using new insights to make your own approach better. It's a cycle of learn, apply, repeat. And here's the big idea to leave you with. You are always in an exhibition. Your office, your industry, your personal brand online, they all have these unspoken rules of attraction, clarity, and psychology. So I want you to look around your world. What are the rules at play? And what's the one move, the one idea that you can steal, adapt, and put into your own playbook, starting tomorrow?